So before we jump into this, I do just want to give a brief kind of life philosophy that I have. I really don't think that this is something that should, on one hand, I don't think it's something that should, consume your days worrying about disaster and, what would I do and all this stuff. On the other hand, I think that there's enough going on right now to just be prepared. I don't see anything wrong with that. It could be so many circumstances. I mean, I'm not just talking about, sometimes we think about like nuclear disaster, like that's like the number one thing. What concerns me sometimes when I think about like a grid situation where the power goes out and maybe you have like rioting and something, but I really try not to, focus on all of these things. I think that a power outage situation would really worry me a lot. I would worry about people looting. I would worry about them coming and maybe stealing, and maybe you would have to somehow escape. We all have different lives. You could be in a relationship, maybe you need to escape. You could be in a cult, you need to escape. There could be fires. There could be a nuclear attack. There could be an EMP attack. There could be anything could happen. And it could just be that you evacuate to a gymnasium. It could be flooding. Who knows? But I guess my philosophy is not to sort of like live in this gloom and doom. For me, this is somewhat of a hobby. I mean, I consider it a productive hobby. This is not something that I'm, putting my life savings into. It's something that when you're going to see what's in this bag, you're probably going to see things that should be in this bag that aren't in this bag. If there are, please mention it in the comments. And I'm just keep in mind that I am a beginner and I'm just kind of doing what I can now. And I find that what I have done is so much better than nothing. Before I had nothing and I thought that I had to come up with this like, perfect bug out bag or something, and I did nothing. But some of these things I did order, especially from Amazon. Other things I happen to use or happen to have that I'm repurposing and using in that way. So yeah, this can really vary from person to person, but my philosophy is, not to dwell on these things, but to enjoy life. So this is something that I do enjoy doing. So, please don't, take it as something where I'm up all night worrying about it. I don't think I would be doing this if I didn't kind of, enjoy kind of the hobby of it. So let's get into the bug out bag. Parker seems very content in the bag. He seems happy. He seems much happier than he seemed when I tried to carry him in the other bag. That was several months ago, just due to extreme, just some circumstances where I did have to carry him in that bag, and he did not. It's nothing against the Kurgo training bag necessarily, but he did not enjoy being in the bag. He is fine just if I carry him in the front. So that's what I would do. Okay, so the first component, let's talk about water. Let's talk about water first. I ordered this like stainless steel water bottle, and it's smaller than what I thought it would be. So I may order another one. It's this thing. I had picked this up at the Goodwill bins a while back. So I think the plan is that I would put this on. So this is the bug out bag. This bag is really, I think, a very good choice. It's for dogs, but I'm obviously not using it as a dog bag. But the rubber bottom. Yeah, when I was homeless, I'll tell you. When I was homeless, this thing, woo! This thing came in handy when I was homeless. I'm not kidding you. This thing really came in handy when I was homeless. Other people, they would have like all their stuff soaking wet, would be sitting outside waiting. Well, I would be sitting, they would be standing, because you can actually kind of, because of the rubber bottom, because it's for pets, it has this amazing rubber bottom. So while everybody else's stuff was getting soaked in the rain, I had a nice little chair. Now, I did sort of decide to use this front part. This is where like the dog's head would come out. but I explained that I'm not, using it with that purpose because he doesn't like it. But I tried to have some kind of like low-hanging fruit, so to speak. These are items that are useful, this low-hanging fruit, so to speak. They're useful, but I figure, if somebody breaks into my bag or gets a hold of it, these are things where it would not be the worst things to lose first. That I put on the very top here is an extra shirt. This is actually portable, I guess you would call toilet paper. You add water to it, and you can use this for like sanitation and wounds and toilet paper. These are some snacks. Something like this. This is not my main food supply. I will show you my main food supply in a minute. But this is like if you were in a situation where you had to kind of maybe like bribe somebody, or if you needed to trade something. Maybe like you were sick and you needed, or you were gonna trade something. There's just an extra bowl with some Tylenol, some dog bags, nuts. Now we're getting into Parker's little bag, and extra bag to put like wet clothes. Let's get into our light sources and some other things. Okay, yeah, so in that kind of hidden pocket with the low-hanging fruit stuff, I have a headlamp. I don't have the batteries in right now. I have them in like a bag that's like waterproof, and I have this really cool flashlight that is a solar flashlight. And the best part of it, although it doesn't apply to me unfortunately, is that you could actually plug your phone into it, but it is a USB-C, and I have, or this is a like micro like plug-in, and I have the USB-C. I have not been able to find something that is compatible with my phone, unfortunately. I continue to look. If anybody knows, please put it in the comments below. I would really appreciate that information because it bothers me a lot that I do not have a solar power bank for my phone at this point, but I just cannot seem to find one. But I love this. I love how I can use it like this, and the headlamp, that's going to be huge to be hands-free. See what else is in that pocket. Okay, this is really important. These are water purifying tablets, and we have potassium iodine tablets. These are in case of a radiological attack. Okay, now we're getting into the depths here. Okay, so the first thing is a plastic bag. I hear these come in handy, and you can use them like to burn stuff too. I ordered a first aid kit on Amazon, and it comes in a waterproof bag. I did add some ibuprofen to it. I think this is really important because if you have like a fever or something, like that would like kind of impact your life if you're like trying to stay moving, if you need to stay moving. So I have fever reducer, and I just added that myself, but inside of it, it came with, like a blanket, an emergency blanket. This is a fire starter, and it has a compass on it, which is pretty neat. And I'm very embarrassed, but I already okay, one thing with these bug out bags is you have to be really careful that you don't like dip into it, because I was going to the fair and I was wearing new shoes and I was like, I'm gonna get blisters, and like I already like took some of that. So I'm gonna have to like really make sure I have other supplies so I'm not like dipping into it. But there's like a poncho. These are the batteries that go to the headlamp. I put them in the waterproof bag. And then, hey bud, and then just a really great, kind of just like all-encompassing, pretty comprehensive bag full of like gauze, band-aids, sutures, like tweezers, yeah, I don't even know what antiseptic stuff, I don't even know what all this stuff is. I packed an apron that I used at work, but I'm not using it right now, and I think that this could be like really handy. This has some inside pockets so that if I wanted to transfer things from my purse, I could kind of put this like under a jacket. Then this could like kind of hide it too. I'll have like my dog right there. The survival straw. can use to filter like water if you are like can get some water into your cup or your bowl, or you can drink it. If you are like in a really bad situation, you might be having a hard time going off of caffeine or something like that. Like if you are like on coffee and then you stop taking coffee, or if you just need to stay up and keep watch. I did pick up some of this like slow release caffeine pills. Okay, this is for eating. I also picked up this first one. This is an emergency tent. It's just kind of like one of those triangular tents. So this is an emergency sleeping bag. And then of course I have these blankets. Okay guys, let's talk protection, okay? Because this is YouTube and I'm just not gonna go into some very specifics, but you'll probably want to protect yourself and the ones that you love. So I'm going to share 3 tools that I have. Once again, this is YouTube, and I'm just not going to get into a discussion about more advanced tools. I'm being very subtle for a reason. I'm just not getting into that. I'm not saying yay. I'm not saying nay. I'm not saying what I do. I'm not saying what I don't have. Buddy, are you nervous? He's like getting nervous. Okay, but yeah, I'm not saying yay, I'm not saying nay of what I do, may have, may not have. So I'm gonna show you 3 things that I do have that I'm sharing. First is this pepper spray. My former boss gave this to me. Lisa, if you're ever watching, thank you very much. I haven't had to use it yet, but I do have it handy on my strap. And I have a bear spray. I haven't opened it yet, but it is there. And I purchased a knife. So, I mean, this knife, I mean, it probably has like multiple purposes. You could probably use it for like fishing. You could use it for protection. You could use it for like, I don't know, like cutting sticks or something. So I do have that knife. This is an example of something that I just had. It was a power cord that did not fit the right, it just did not fit. It's not what I needed, and the box broke and I missed the deadline to return it. So I just kind of had it because I thought that it might come in handy, maybe for fishing or hanging stuff, or if you had an injury or something and you need to stop blood or to barter for something. So if you have things like around your house that you think could be useful, I encourage you to put that in a bag and use it. It's certainly better than nothing. Some earrings, and the purpose of these earrings is I saw some fishing kits on Amazon, but they were pretty expensive, and so I think I'm just going to keep these in here. And yeah, so I just threw those earrings in because I was thinking I could use those to like attract fish, I guess, maybe on a line. It just did not seem very practical right now to buy a kit from Amazon for fishing, which was a little more expensive than what I wanted to, and it was a little bit bulky. So let's get into the primary food supply. The bottom of the bag, I just have a change of at the bottom of the bag, I just have a change of clothes. It's just kind of like a top, an old t-shirt, a long sleeve shirt, some extra socks and some things, and that just sits at the very bottom. Next, I'm going to show you something that I absolutely love about this bag, and it's how I can stealthily store my food comfortably. It actually is very comfortable, and I'm going to show you how I do it. This back compartment, it's the side, like you can't even see it. It's just the side, like it wasn't in any of all my food, it wasn't in any of these pockets. It was just resting against my back. And it's like in this very stealth pocket. So it's just totally separate from this and this. Just completely against my back. I have just, a lot of these are for Parker, like the plain chickens are for Parker. I have a lot of his dog food that is in the car, lots of salmon, but I have not really found a good way to carry his food, so I have that stuff in the car. So look how many I can get in there. I can get like all this like salmon, tuna, and chicken, and then I have like some nuts too. So I was able to store all of these just in that back pocket, and there honestly is plenty of room for more. Like I am definitely gonna go and buy some more of these because I didn't realize that I could fit more. And so I just love that back pocket. because like it goes against my back, because these are just totally just like thin, and it's like I would lose so much room in my main bag if I were in my main compartments if I were trying to store all of this. So I'm really in love with this bag. It's a great bag. Okay, let's check out Parker's bug out bag now. Parker definitely has other food. This is just extreme emergency, and there's more food in my main food supply, but this is just extreme emergency. If Parker is not groomed regularly, it can lead to life-threatening conditions, so it's very important that I have his grooming supplies with me at all times in an emergency. Also super important is an extra harness and an extra leash, extra medication, an emergency blanket reserved for him, and he has an emergency water bowl and food bowl. If you would like to support me, Parker, and this channel, please hit the like button, because it lets YouTube know that this is content worth recommending to other people, and the growth of my channel really depends on it. So smash that like button. Thank you so much. Yeah, hey bud. So I really hope that this wasn't like depressing in any way. It was not my intent to be like depressing. I actually feel like more calm now that like, you know, I have like this bag, and there's no guarantees. I mean, somebody could steal my bag, and that's a reason why I think it's important to keep it kind of, hey precious, to keep it kind of like nondescript. Yeah, you got Lambkin back. We went on a walk last night, and he took it wasn't last night, it was the other night. He took Lambkin outside, and I didn't like know he had taken her. And then last night he was like looking around for her. I think he was like going all around the room, and he was just like, I don't know, like it was very strange. Like, and I was like wondering if maybe he was looking for Lambkin, and I could not find Lambkin. And then we went on a walk today, and I found Lambkin. Oh, he like was walking with her all the time, and I didn't even notice. So we washed Lambkin and brought her home. So anyway, guys, yeah, I hope that this is, yeah, it's meant to be encouraging, and it's kind of empowering. I've been having kind of a rough time lately on the weekends. The weekends have been kind of hard for me. I've been kind of having some weekend depression. I think it's because I just get so worked up all week, you know, getting through the work week, and then I just kind of hit bottom when I get to the weekend. And that's why I haven't been filming, as I've just been kind of, I don't know, kind of having like a little bit of a rough time on the weekends. But I think that I'm going to, well, car life is just not, it's just not for me right now. Sometimes I really wish I could just go off and, you know, have adventures, but I just feel like I really do need to meet some financial goals. But this whole like preparedness thing, it has kind of gotten me thinking about like maybe backpacking. I'm kind of like, I think it would be good to try and test out some of this stuff. I mean, to actually see like, okay, do those blankets keep you warm, or what have you. So I think like maybe this fall, I'm a little bit worried about like ticks right now, even though he does have tick protection. Just up here, just the ticks are supposed to be just terrible. I might do some, but I'd kind of like for it to cool down a little bit, and maybe once a days get slightly shorter, I might have a better chance of seeing some northern lights. So I'm thinking that maybe some backpacking might be in the future. I can't guarantee how exotic it's going to be, but it's something that I'm thinking about more and more. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that it wasn't it wasn't too depressing. This is like a hobby, and if you have any questions, just ask in the comments below. And if you have ideas, go ahead and put that in the comments below too. I know there's definitely some ways I can improve this bag, especially with the clothing. I feel like the clothes take up a lot of space, and I would really like to try and find some more like kind of efficient ways to do that, like maybe some thermals or something that would be just more efficient, take up less room. I also know that I don't really know how comfortably warm I would stay. I do have like my mummy bag is in my car. I'm looking at like sleeping bag options, but I'll just have to see how it is. So I have kind of like my car, I guess it's like if something like, you know, if I lost my car, or if, I don't know, I couldn't buy gas, or I don't know, if there's some emergency, and it's like nice to know that, like, well, it's not really nice to know, it's not really that nice in general, but it's sort of like if I had to be separated from my car in some emergency, there's something slightly comforting about knowing that I have like shelter, and if anything, it's like mentally, I don't know, just it helps me mentally kind of to feel empowered, and I'm not going overboard because I do have financial obligations, and I think that some of this stuff can be a good investment. Food is only supposed to get more expensive, so I would just say, like, something I'm having to be really careful about is to not dip into it. Like I said, like the other day I needed, like, you know, some, like a Band-Aid or some tape for my blister, and it's like, no, you can't just go like dipping in there. So yeah, just be sure you have like other supplies too, so that like it's not tempting to go, you know, just be like, oh, I'll just go, you know, grab, I can't find the leash, I'll just go get the extra leash from the bug out bag, which that would just be terrible, because you know, he does chew on his leash at times, and you know, it has wear and tear. And so, I mean, if I were in a situation, I really would depend on that extra leash and that extra harness. So I have to discipline myself to, you know, not go into the bug out bag just, you know, for a snack, you know, or like when I feel like I need something out of it. So anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sorry I missed you guys for a couple weeks. Please comment below what you think of this video. Also, if you enjoy this content, hitting the like button, it really kind of is the difference between this channel growing or not. It can really help, because I think a lot of times, kind of like on the response of the people who do watch this video, based on that response, I've gathered that's how YouTube decides, are they going to suggest it to other people. So, you know, it may not seem like a big deal, but it really is. So if you could subscribe too, so that you could watch future videos, that would really help me a lot. But just liking the video would make my day too, and, you know, make me able to continue to do these videos. So if you really like these videos, please subscribe, so I'll know to continue doing these videos. Because, you know, if no one's like interested in it, I'll probably still do it because like I'm passionate about it. But if it's, you know, I do want to, you know, cater to people who are watching YouTube. If no one's interested in it, then, you know, I don't know if it's like the best use of my time. So yeah, so please help the YouTube algorithm out and hit that like button, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.